last week, obviously round one action, a lot of, as you say, provinces, good weekend for them, but just the bans, the retrospective bans that have kind of come out of the first week of European action, 17 weeks in total imposed for 5 players. What did you kind of make of Jerome Kano? Is obviously the big one, has ramifications for Leinster's trip to Toulouse on Sunday. He's been banned for 5 weeks. What did you kind of make of the incident? Was it the right decision in retrospect?
Yeah, it's been a really interesting couple of days with those old decisions. 17 weeks of bans in total, retrospectively, as you say. It's really interesting that this is kind of the trend in the game now. I think we're going to see this for a while as referees and authorities try and kind of clamp these things out of the game. The Kano one, for me, I thought it was a red card when it happened. I thought there was contact onto Jamie Roberts' chin, and the fact that he went off for the HIA and clearly concussed says it all. That's why they're trying to clamp it out of the game. Like, I do have some sympathy for Jerome Kano because, you know, he's put himself in a really good position to make a really dominant tackle there, and it's a matter of centimetres, inches in terms of slipping onto the jaw there. But having said that, I do think he's in a good enough position to drop just a little bit lower. And I don't know, Johnny, what do you think? Like, there's a bit of coaching in there as well? It's players getting used to that decision and maybe just dropping slightly lower.
Yeah, I think we were speaking before we started. I think there's an onus on everyone involved in this. Referees, disciplinary committees, players, coaches, and I think the authorities, around rule changes. If you want to do something like this, just bring in a rule, bring it into nipple height, keep it down lower, and just blanket it, and then it forces everyone to to tackle a certain way. If you look at Kano in terms of if you freeze frame it and slowly go through it, he gets in a really, really good position. If he drops his height a tiny bit lower, it's a brilliant shot. Coaching kids from, under 8s the whole way up, you're teaching kids to step and sink. And, if that filters down the whole way through, then kids aren't going to be trying to do a high shot or because this is what's seen at the weekend. And I just think there needs to be a bit more responsibility taken from everyone across the board. There also is an issue, I think, with ball carriers. Do they have a responsibility to the tackler as well, given that it's a collision sport? There is going to be a lot of guys who actually step into a contact when they're ball carrying because they're trying to brace themselves. So there's a grey area at the moment that's creating a huge amount of issues across the board. And I think the bans, as you say, the retrospective bans, show that.